Hello, everyone. The whole purpose of this demonstration is to continue a conversation we started with a slideshow. I will start the painting right from the painting. So no sketching, no pencil drawing, just an exploration of the placement and the size. On the example of the first lemon, let's talk about edges. When we have one light source coming from any direction, but for me, it's an upper left corner, any opaque object has starting light edge, and all the planes facing the left and the top and the frontal plane will receive light. When the light flows across and over the object, it will reach the corner where the shadow begins, and that edge where the light and shadow meets we call a form edge. This edge is all about continuity of the object. The object doesn't end here, it continues, except that it's no longer lit up but mystified or hidden by the shadow. So the form edge is interior edge. The two exterior edges, the starting light edge and the finish of the shadow edge, are both synonymous. It is the beginning and the end. Exterior edges needs definition because we always need to know where things begin and where they end. But relatively speaking, the inner edge always softer than the starting and finish edges. So for the lemon, I'm going to pick up a cadmium yellow lemon, tiny amount of cadmium yellow dip. Either I can start in the middle of the form, the most protruded area, and then move my brush away to the starting light edge on the top, and also move my brush towards the edge and make it define. As I approach the plane that is tucking under but still available to the light, I will take cadmium yellow dip, warm up the temperature of my light, and bring the brush strokes down towards the tucking under planes. So here, I'd like my edge to look a little bit more vague. So I'm gonna break that edge. And that's the reason why I didn't go like this, creating a sharper edge. I went more around the form, describing the roundness of it. And just for the sake of darkening of this, I'm going to add a little bit more warmer temperature, and I'm going to pull that into the nose of a lemon. Now, when I paint my light shape, I try to come as close as possible to the shadow. And notice how I moved towards the shadow, not like this, but I moved it in a brush strokes that more like a step. One is a little ahead, one is a little behind. Already that helps me create uneven, unfocused edge, which will help me to create a softer edge that represents that transitional edge, the corner. If I want this lemon to be brightly lit up, I will try to make this edge turn really quickly, really fast turn. But if I want this lemon to be more dimmer, I will use a little bit more space for transition and take light away by creating a longer, slower transition. So there is couple ways to soften this edge. One way you can do it is what I showed you. When you paint the light, you come to it like building a little fence with the brush stroke, not outlining the shadow. Another way is take a brush, put half of the brush on light and half on the shadow, and just pull the brush. Notice how much softer it is. I can do one more time and soften this edge just by pulling. Now, some people would say this is blending. No, that is not blending. This is connecting light and shadow. Blending is when I take my fingers close to the bristle and I use my fingers and I smudge two paint into another, where my shadow shape moves and becomes smaller and insignificant to hold that much light. So this is more about connecting light and shadow, but not blending. I want to make that difference because in painting, there is very little blending. Blending belongs to the drawing. But in painting, we make brush strokes. One brush stroke may overlap another and change its value and the quality of the edge. The other way to soften this edge is take a skewer and come and scratch a little bit, physically break that edge. Another way to soften it will be take a little bit of your background, take it and mix it into my light, come back and stitch a little bit of that paint into the meeting place of both. So you allow a little bit of the air between the light and the shadow. And another way to soften this edge is to take and put something that will take away attention from the edge. And that's function of highlight. So I will take a lot of white and use a pink quality. So I'm going to make impasto brushstroke, pick up a lot of paint, find the change of the plane where the plane that's facing the light changing into the plane that's tucking away. And I will put my highlight and then move it up. The quality of highlight depends, number one, on the surface of the objects. So if you have a lot of texture, your highlight may be broken up. If your texture is nice and smooth like a glass, the highlight might be a little bit sharper edge and less textural. I'm going to connect light into the light. So here comes open edge. Between two lemons, I'd like to create an open door, a channel of light. So this piece of color and this piece of light can flow freely from one lemon to another. The light rolls out of the lemon and moves into the air. So it's important to realize that the light doesn't just stop, but it can continue into the air. And so the upper plane and the bottom plane of the turning, where the light slides out into the air and slides out towards the table, the more variations of the edges you have, the more beauty you add to your painting, the more painterly, atmospheric, full of air and depth it feels. On that, I'll say goodbye, and I hope to see you in the next live demonstration. Thank you so much.